seasons of life.
Oh, wow.
Embracing the seasons of
She's
life.
obviously having a moment with herself.
Do I look okay?
You look fine.
Everybody's going to think that I am this person that's completely like...
Uh-huh.
I'm going to throw water at her. Okay, today's episode is... Today's show? Episode?
Yeah. It's we're not like a TV show.
Why not? We could be a TV show.
I think we actually could. I think we actually could be a TV show. Our lives are kind of like a TV show.
Yes. Oh, look, Steve's watching. And somebody else. Oh, that's you.
Yeah, that's me, because I'm sharing us places.
She's watching. Okay.
I'm sharing us places.
Don't share us too much. Or maybe overshare us.
I'm just going to hit.
Oh. Okay. No, I was saying...
Kendall's in an interesting mood today because she is waiting for her daughter to text
have a baby.
And say...
I'm waiting. I actually... So I have this whole glass of water here. And we were setting up... And I had another glass of water just like this. And we were talking, and I was telling Addison how I want my daughter to text me and tell me that because she's at her doctor's appointment, I want her to tell me that she is contracting and that she's having a baby. Because this morning, when she was over, she told me that she could take her fingers and go just about this far into her body and feel the baby's head there. So that's like the baby's like right there. So I'm anticipating that when she finally goes into labor, that this is going to be like this kind of labor. And
so if that happens in the middle of Free Spirit Talks, then...
Yeah. But here I am, and I had just set down water, and I hauled off, and I hit the water glass with my hand, and the water went everywhere, and Addison said, oh,
somebody's water broke.
Somebody's water broke. And I went, oh, maybe that's God's way of telling me that her water is getting ready to break, or it just got broke. But
or it could be that Kendall is just a klutz.
It's probably a sign that, because I'm not a klutz, but it's
alrighty.
It's a sign. It's a sign. Anyway, yeah. And the reason I was saying, what's the title? See, that's why I was saying embracing the seasons of life.
Yes.
There's a wasp on my window. Embracing the seasons of life. Too. I have wasps. You know, those are like, they're good. Do they have anything to do with baby coming, labor?
I don't think so.
Sacred geometry is what wasps are signs of. And what is more sacred? Thank you.
All right. So we're going to talk about the seasons of life, and that's one of them.
I'm a little excited.
Babies. I know. You're excited. Yeah. If I was going to be a grandma,
we don't have to use
I
those
would
words.
be excited too.
No, we're not grandma.
Okay. You're Mimi.
Some say Mimi, some say G-mama.
G-mama.
I don't know if I'm a Mimi, a Nana. I don't like Nana.
Nana.
Really
don't do Nana.
makes me
Don't do
feel
Nana.
like
Don't do Nana.
Like I need to dye my hair gray and do a poodle cut. What? I
feel like I need to get you a wig. And like.
And really thick glasses?
Mm-hmm.
I could do that. I could do a whole skit, a whole photo shoot of being a Nana.
Sexy grandma. Sexy Nana.
Sexy Nana with a little poodle cut.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Could be fun. So yeah, so there you go. That's embracing the seasons of life.
Yeah, it is. And this kind of came about because we were talking about just our different lives and like things we're going through and things we see our clients going through, and like even this and actually even just talking about like kind of spring coming in Texas, it's been absolutely gorgeous out lately, and like
temperamental.
It has been temperamental, but it's been absolutely gorgeous at the same time. We had some beautiful thunderstorms last night, but then like the weather's been nice, and so spring is kind of awakening and blooming. And it just reminds us of those, like, the ebbs and flows of the seasons. And then you, like, got up this morning and decided to wear, like, springy clothes. And I've got my, like, super springy pants on today.
You do.
I'm cozy, but I'm...
You look like something out of Austin Powers, 1960s Yeah. I was like, check her out. She's all spring has sprung.
I'm all springy.
And I'm in
I love spring. Spring is my favorite season. It is my favorite season.
I'm a spring, summer, and fall person. I just don't do winter.
Yeah, I don't do winter either.
Winter's not.
No, so.
Winter's boring.
I like fall just because my birthday's in fall.
Squirrels. Are squirrels signs of fertility?
I don't know.
Giving birth?
I don't know.
I saw a bunny yesterday that wouldn't run away. He kind of was scary because he just looked at me, and I thought that I was in like a bunny horror movie for a half a second because he's just sitting out there.
There are signs of fertility, but just not giving birth.
Yeah, it's like you better not be saying anything else to me, bunny. Wrong season. Season gone.
But I think there's all these seasons, and I know that. Even in my, like this morning, that was my article that I wrote on my personal coaching page, was all on like spring and awakening and pruning the stuff back that we need to prune back so that we have room for the growth and the expansion. And that like spring awakening, and like yesterday I did some spring cleaning and just really getting into that expansion state. But then there is this, I think it's interesting how we start our year off in winter when everything is like dead.
Yeah.
Everything's dead in the winter.
Harder to get motivated then.
Yeah.
And feeling heavier.
And to get moving. And I was just thinking how so many people, I have lots of clients that are like, this year I said I was going to do blah, 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 blah. And I still haven't done it. I haven't gotten as much done as I wanted. And there is stuff that you're like, okay, well, you're not doing this, this, and this. And I look at my own life and there's things that I'm like, okay, I wish I had made more progress on this thus far in this year and all of that. But then also going, okay, now we're coming into that place of where the buds start sprouting. You know, just 'cause winter is dead for a reason, but it's not really dead. It's just that all the growth is happening kind of underneath. Things are happening underneath, but nothing is sprouted. And we're coming to that place in our year even, that things are starting to sprout. And you see this in your life too. I know that like there's times that I'm like, I'm digging, I'm hoeing, I'm like doing everything that you're supposed to do, and you get that like okay, like when am I gonna see the rewards of all this
Work.
And it's not even work.
But it is.
But all this energy I'm putting out, all this love, all this stuff. And I think you can get into that place. And then there's also times in our lives, I think, when it's like everything is growing and it's like we're in that abundant stage and season. And I think that goes for every area, like especially our relationships, I think. But I think it goes for our financial, our career, our physical bodies. And then also just as we age, those seasons of like talking about having a baby, and your baby is having a baby. Like those are seasons. Those are.
Oh, it's the seasons of, and you're right. There's the seasons within your year. I think that we all have certain longer term seasons. Like I know that I run on a 7-year cycle, as I call it. Like every 7 years, stuff changes in my life drastically. And there's all these seasons within the 7 years, but then the 7 years is a season within itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I can look back at the last 7 years of my life and I go, oh my gosh, look at kind of like what this represented, all the growth and the lessons and the different things I learned. And if you look at the 7 years prior to that, it was completely different than what that 7 years was. But there was a running theme for each one of those seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am at the beginning of a new, and it feels new. So there is this lots of planting going on, because much like with any season, what do we start with? We've got to do all the work of the land. So we've got to get the land ready for the seeds. We were planting seeds. We're doing all of that. We're watering. And there's not really a whole lot every now and then there's like little sprouts. I'm like, woo, there's a sprout. Woo, woo,
Yeah.
woo. But there's no real true evidence yet of everything that we're doing. So
and we might even be like feeding it sunshine. Like, okay, here's your water, here's your sunshine, here's all your positivity, here's all your
like
good thoughts.
Samantha having, when we have a baby, watching her go through. I mean, I've had 7, so I've been through it. But to watch her go through it has been an interesting experience to hear her take. Because on the front side, she's like, yeah, I'm pregnant. But actually, on the front side, she didn't even think that she was pregnant forever because even the pregnancy tests were coming back negative. And even the doctors, and when she got to the midwife, they even were like, no, you're not pregnant because the baby was hiding.
But then you are pregnant.
But you are pregnant, but you're not pregnant, but you are pregnant. So there's like this energetic, like, we don't know what we're doing here.
On this couch.
I know. I just do it all the time.
I'm short enough as it is.
But, to watch her do that, and then it really didn't become... She did not start to feel pregnant until she started to see the evidence of being pregnant, which means her stomach started getting tighter and there was all of a sudden this ball. And then the first time she felt like a kick, and it was like, oh my gosh, there's something really going on here.
There's something in my body.
There's something going on here. So it became more and more real, the more evidence that she was seeing. And I think that that's the same thing as we embrace the seasons of our life, whatever that might be. The short sections of it or the longer term experiences of those seasons, we have to realize, I think part of the embracing process is to have that faith that while we're working through things and we're tilling the land and we're, putting the fertilizer in and we're plant the seeds, so often I think what we do, we don't embrace it. We go back and we dig up our seeds.
Yep.
And we're like, well, I'm not seeing anything. So we go and we dig those seeds up, and man, that squirrel is like going crazy out there. It's like back. That's why I'm like, this squirrel's gonna mean something.
She's having a squirrel moment.
Well, there's a squirrel.
I know.
Doing the jig out there, okay?
He's doing that. It's
the
like an actual Irish.
Yes, you should see. He's got cute little boots too. It's like Puss in Boots, squirrel style. Not really, but. Or maybe there's a couple of them. Maybe they're just chasing each other. I don't know. I just keep seeing movement on there. But no, so we go and we dig up those seeds, and we basically kill our harvest every single time we do that. So I look at different people that I work with, and I know that I'm guilty of it too, where I go in and I'm like, I'm going to do this, and here's, here's my deadline, here's my goals, and then presenting that deadline of, well, let's just use pregnancy, right? So pregnancy is 40 to 42 weeks long. Anywhere from 38 to 42 weeks is a normal pregnancy. We all say it's 9 months. It's actually 40 weeks is what the official time frame on a pregnancy is. Well, Sam's 41 weeks today. Now, she's had this expectation that at 40 weeks, she would have a baby. Well, guess what? There was no sprouting going on. A baby did not pop. There was no... we have a flower. No. It's like, so she's going back every single day, basically looking for
checking
that
the harvest.
Where's
the harvest will come now.
Where's the harvest? But there's no real true gauge as to when that harvest is going to. She could still be another week out, even though every single day the ground cracks a little bit. So the ground cracks, and she's like, it's happening, and we're all on board with it because like, is it?
And everyone's staring at it,
like, where is it? So it's like everybody's down there on the ground, looking, waiting for this little sprout.
Actually, not looking at it, but looking at it.
We're going, all right. Where is it? Does that make it happen any quicker? No, it just causes stress, anxiety, frustration, fear. Now, in the pregnancy, obviously.
It's like, he's just not ready.
He's just not ready. It's going to happen whenever it's going to happen. But that's the same thing with the seasons of our life too. We plant. And when what we tend to do is we go in, and what we do in those moments, like with our finances, with a relationship, it's like we go in there, we're like, well, this isn't working. So it must be the ground. Maybe it was the fertilizer. Oh, these were bad seeds. Dig it all up. Start fresh. But what we don't realize is that right there underneath that surface is that sprout was actually just getting ready to pop through, and we just like heaved it, tossed it over our shoulder with the shovel, and there it went. It's all through. So we're really not embracing the seasons of life in those moments. When we can step in, I think embracing the season means that you just embrace whatever is being presented to you in that moment. And it's acceptance. It's just acceptance and love of that moment and what is being offered, and that it truly is perfect in that moment, even if it feels like you're sitting out in the middle of the ocean with no oars and there's no wind and there's no nothing. You're just sitting there in your boat going, well, this is fun. Like,
yeah,
there's nothing around.
Knowing that it's perfect. Knowing it's perfect and it won't stay. No matter what we do, change will happen. Like, there's no... it doesn't matter if you choose to do nothing in your life. If you literally sit and do nothing, change will come about in your life, whether you like it or not. You're gonna age. Change will happen. Now, there is like some direction of change and like choosing your direction and change, but the seasons will change whether we like it or not. And so it is embracing those and kind of fertilizing the seasons we desire, but also like you said, like not like throwing our entire heart, well, it's not even a harvest yet, because that isn't even but our potential future harvest out because we're just not willing to be patient, actually. Patient and just like...
No, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah. I don't like... I was like sticking with the patience because I don't love the word patience, but it is really just having more faith. It is faith and knowing that like everything is perfect and it's all happening for a reason. And I think we also see this in, like you said, and I think you mentioned relationships. We see this a lot in relationships too. Even in like a relationship you love and you're sticking with, and you're not like wanting to abort the relationship. There still is that seasons. There still are those like ebbs and flows. Those times when like there's kind of deadness, and then there's times when it's like fiery and passionate and hot, and I don't care what kind of relationship you're talking about there. And then there's times when, it's just like really cool and like there's growth and you see all this like newness. Like that happens in our relationships all the time. And then there are those, you see it in relationship too, where it's like, okay, well, this season has passed too. So it is, I think there's, you mentioned like don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, don't kind of throw your harvest out. And I think then there is also an acknowledgement of like this season has passed. And I think we see a lot of people, and I'm guilty of it too at times, going like, no, I don't want this season to pass. Like, no, this is the season I was in, and going like, because I feel like I'm kind of in a new season over the last probably year. I'm entering a new season as well. And so going like, no, but this is what the season was. Like, I want to stick with the season. But kind of just allowing that and going, okay, well, it's a new season. It's new. Something new is coming in. And being open to it. I think we can block our own season, our own joy in the season. We can almost like, sprouts are going to come up, but we're going to start like throwing those suckers out and be like, I don't want this sprout, and throwing it out. Like, I think we can do that as well.
You have a beautiful garden and dandelions come and invade your garden. And next thing you know, you have this dandelion garden. And you're like, man, these weeds are all over the place. These weeds are all over the place. They're just taking over. They've smothered and killed all my beautiful, sugar snap peas here. And it's just completely killed it. So you're mad at the dandelions. Oh, hold on. She's fine. She's not the pregnant one.
Just want to make sure that
she's not the pregnant one. And she doesn't even know that her sister's in what her sister's doing. So, but Becca, stop. We're gonna just keep hitting. Goodbye, Becca. Goodbye, Becca. She'll get the clue. We love her. She had a beautiful photo shoot though. But that's probably what she's calling about. I know, but so you have all these dandelions, and they come and invade the garden of sugar snap peas, right? Mm-hmm. So sugar snap peas have these beautiful little purple flowers. I know nothing about gardening, so I'm like, they have these beautiful purple little flowers to them, and they're so pretty, and they're kind of like viney and crawl over the place. So if you were growing that, or we're in Texas, we could say blue bonnets. That's what we'll do since we're in Texas. Have a beautiful field of blue bonnets. And then all of a sudden, the wind blows and brings all these dandelions in. Dandelions are weeds, right? Like they're just and
They
they got
take
the little
over
puffs,
everything.
and yeah, they're cool for little kids to go blow all the seeds all over the place and make more dandelion sprouts everywhere. But they crack the cement, and they do this and they do that. So we could look at it as though now we've been invaded by weeds. I think embracing the season sometimes, because to go to what you were bringing up, is that we don't want to let go of that season, right? So we have this beautiful field of bluebonnets. We're like, well, I don't want to let go of my field. I'm going to get rid of the dandelions because they're killing my bluebonnets. But what if you actually monetize, we'll just use the word monetize here, the fact that now, yeah, so now maybe that season is changing, and maybe you should not be growing bluebonnets anymore, but you should actually become a dandelion farmer, because guess what? Dandelions have some of the most potent nutrients in their greens. Dandelion salad is actually a specialty, very high-end salad. You go to some of the best restaurants and you're going to have dandelion greens in your salad. The rest of us are out there killing it with weed killer. Right? We're killing it.
You can't see that cheese. That's what I'm laughing at. I don't think you guys can see that.
Killing it with weed killer. We're digging them out of the ground. We're wrecking our field, trying to get rid of, I mean, like, we have poisoned a whole damn field of bluebonnets trying to get rid of the dandelions, where somebody else is like, well, I'm going to just become a dandelion farmer, and then they just go
make it work
like that, right? So they just make it work. Part of embracing the season is to get in alignment to your season and let that change, and just go, okay, well, instead of completely killing off my ground where now it's not even fertile anymore because I've poisoned it, I put all this toxin in there, instead just move over and say, oh, well, look at this. Now I'm selling, instead of selling to florists, I'm now selling to high-end restaurants. You know, like that. I know, that's so crazy. Leave it to me to go off on like some weird ass tangent.
No, but I think you're right on point, and kind of that is where I was kind of going with all of that. I think you can do that, and I think in order to, I think it can be difficult sometimes to even see like when a season is changing, but that is when you have to just kind of go internal, and if you start to see something changing, like really getting quiet with self and going kind of into your spirit and going, okay, well what is going on? Like, instead of going like, oh, well, I have to change it, going, okay, like, what's going on? What's my message? What's my lesson? Or what's the transformation? Because sometimes it's not even a lesson.
Okay, we may have to actually.
So
that was actually my daughter now calling the pregnant one.
We're gonna.
Well, we're gonna finish here in 5 minutes. We're doing a 5-minute finish.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Do you have a phone?
I do have a phone.
Okay. I'm gonna call my daughter on her phone.
My phone is over on the table. So, on that note, but
seasons are changing.
Seasons are changing, and I think it is like going internal and recognizing. Huh?
Do you have her on your phone?
Yeah, you sent me her number. I think it's recognizing when seasons are changing and kind of just being real quiet with self and kind of going within, and that is how
the squirrel is haunting us. Tell you, he's sitting right there.
We are squirrely today. Talk about.
I was squirrely. I've been squirrely.
It is okay. You sent me.
It's an 808 number. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's find out if she's delivering.
Oh, we're gonna just we're gonna find out online. Okay, let's go.
Which number did you dial?
The one you gave me.
Well, her number must. That's weird. Really?
Maybe we need a 1.
Oh, it says that it's not in service, but she just called.
I know.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Okay. All right, so we're going to do a 5-minute.
Well,
She's
okay.
We're going to have a baby in 5
So,
minutes.
all that to say, be cognizant of just the changing of your seasons in your life and the changing of the seasons in your relationships, to really look at, okay, each thing that's coming to you. Okay, is this a changing of the seasons? You can usually feel that within, and if you start to feel like that kind of dead place, which would be like the winter or going into the fall, when we start to kind of like harvest and then like go into that winter period of just realizing that is a phase in a season 2 and it will come back around. So
yeah, and it definitely is just really feeling into it. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. I think that
there's not really anything you can do about it.
No, and I was just asked this question just earlier today with a client, like, how do you know? And my response was, you've got to just, the only thing that you can do in any transition is to get to know yourself better and to have a little bit of faith in you. And typically when we start to go through changes and things are kind of like where we're wobbling a lot, we're like, well, but this is happening and I don't really want it. But this is, like, and I want this over here. You have to kind of question and go, what is it underneath that I'm not being conscious of that is actually there? Because I know anytime that I've gone into transformation work and had my whole life shift on me, there's a subconscious level at work that I'm not even aware of. And the more I become aware of it, that's where the momentum of the change starts to happen. And you can really get things to kind of shift and lean in, because it's more of that embracing the season, but it's becoming conscious of the season is how you embrace it. And the sooner you can be conscious, the sooner things kind of smooth out.
Mm-hmm.
Smooth out. Relax into it.
Yes. So she's got to go find out if she's got a baby coming or not.
Yes, I do.
So
but you have announcements.
Yes, quick announcement. So I want to do this announcement on Free Spirit Talk since I think it's just the perfect place to do it. So about 2 or 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago actually, almost exactly, I wrote an article called Fierce Female Friendships, and I wrote that article and it was one of my favorite articles I've ever written. I have like 5 articles that I really was like in flow and super proud of, and I wrote that article, and recently the idea came to me of like doing another version of it. Now that each of those relationships I wrote about, all my fierce female friendships, were even deeper now. And so kind of writing like fiercer female friendships, and I was like, I don't really want to write an article. I want to create a program. And so I created a program, Fierce Female Friendships. It's a one-night event, but it comes with an entire free goddess program that I'm giving away because I can. And
you're giving away your goddess program?
I'm giving away my goddess program for free because I can and I wanted to. And yeah. And it's a one-night event, so it's going to be 2 hours. We're going to get in there. I'm going to teach you how to create that female tribe that all women need. It has been proven by science that women with deep female friendships actually have so much more medical and health stability. I mean, like, they took women and saw that, honestly, if you have female friendships, you can beat cancer better than if you just have a really loving husband. The loving husband made no difference. The female friendships actually increased your odds of getting over it significantly. I don't have the stat in my mind right now, but you can go to my website, you can check it out. But it's going to be an amazing program. I really am excited. I love my female friends, and I want to share with you how to build those friendships, how to keep them growing, because just like the seasons of any relationship, they change and they alter, and how do you nurture that, and how do you help expand with your friendships? I think so many of us are missing those deep relationships as well, and so I want to share that with you. And so you can find that on my website, addisonbell.net. I will be posting it all over the place starting now. So I wanted to launch it though here on Free Spirit Talks with one of my friends, and so yeah.
I will be there.
Yes, you will.
I will be there.
You will, because I already put you in the group.
I'm going to be there.
So you get VIP access.
Nice. It's good to be friends.
Yeah. And then we're going to talk shit about her.
I don't want to be your friend anymore.
It's okay.
We're going to enter a new season.
Deal with it.
So, okay.
Anyway.
Okay. I'm going to just go find out if
You're having a baby.
Well, I'm not having a baby.
Well, you're not having a baby, but like...
If I have to go help catch
a baby.
Because I am
have fun with that.
doula, mom Mimi / whatever the heck I'm going to be called after
I'm having
this.
hair issues today. Sorry.
You're just...
I am. I'm having hair issues. My hair's driving me nuts today.
I have shavers.
Okay, not that nuts. Not that nuts. Let's go find out if you're catching a baby.
Okay.
So, yeah. Thank you all for joining us. You can find me at addisonbell.net.
And me at kendallwilliams.com.
So, bye, everybody.
Bye.